What's up, YouTube? It's Artisan MC, and in this Sunday binge, I binged on Skylines. Now, this is part three of the three-part Skyline universe binge, and I just finished Skylines on Netflix. And good, good series to watch back to back. You get a full through line in that story with still room to add on to the end. Now, this Skylines movie came out in 2020, so it came out probably right before the pandemic hit, which is why it kind of got canned by critics, but then found new life on Netflix because that was the only way people could actually watch the damn movie and saw that it wasn't actually terrible. For the most part, I'd say this movie, watching them all back to back, I can see that. First movie had a very cinematic feel to it. Everything is big. It's a lot of wide shots and stuff like that. Second movie had more of a Hollywood action feel to it, where they were moving to different locations, and there was a lot of gunfights and fighting scenes and stuff that were awesome. And beyond Skylines, fight scenes were good, but when you got Iko Hawass and Yan Yan in it, what are you expecting? You're expecting some good fight scenes with weapons and all kind of stuff, which is what you got. And one of the things I missed and to mention in Beyond Skyline is that you have a lot of other action stunt guys in this playing roles and acting. And one of the guys I forgot was Colin Mulvaney. He was in the MCU and the DCU. He was one of Romlo's guys in Captain America: Winter Soldier. He was the one who asked on the Quinjet. It's like, did he use a parachute? And Frank Grillo's character tells him no, he didn't. Right? He was also in Superman, or not Superman, but the JLA movie, playing the terrorist that was working for the what's it called, the White Albino, whatever it was, what his name was. He's also in the JLA movie. He always plays a bad guy heavy, okay? But in Beyond Skylines, it was the first time I saw him actually being able to speak roles in acting, which I didn't recognize him at first because he had glasses on. In this movie, you get what's his name, Daniel Bernhardt in it, and Daniel Bernhardt has been in a lot of stuff since appearing in Matrix Reloaded. He was the main agent in Matrix Reloaded who was going against Keanu Reeves. He's basically one of the stunt guys that works with Keanu Reeves a lot. And so he's been in John Wick movies. He's been in a lot of other movies since then. And in this movie, he plays Colonel Owens, which is another action role where he gets to show off his martial arts skills once again, that he's a big, tall white boy who does have martial arts skill, does have martial arts chops. So this movie, Skylines, has a more British feel, whereas Beyond Skylines, it kind of finished up, the finale kind of finished up in Laos, and with the Asian feel to it. This one has more of a Doctor Who British feel to it. It feels big. It looks big because in this movie they actually get to travel to another world. But the sets are small in a sense that you would see in British television, where they do sci-fi really well on little budget. Right. And the actors in this, whereas Beyond Skylines was kind of a who's who of some of my favorite Latino actors, because they're still in LA, this one is some of my favorite British actors because they're in Britain. And you get people like forgetting his name right now, James Cosmo, who was the head Mormont at Castle Black, who gave Jon Snow the sword Longclaw in Game of Thrones. If you're a Game of Thrones fan, you'll know who the Elder Mormont was. He's a good British actor. You also have Nona Meredith in this, who was Victor's daughter in Underworld, Rise of the Lycans. She's been in a bunch of other stuff. She was on ER for a while, and then some. She's attractive as hell to me. It might be the jawline or something. I don't know, but I like that British accent too. Long dark hair and accent can get me almost every time. And she's older in this, but she's still there. You also get Yan Yan reprising his role from the last movie as the chief and coming back in and handling business in a martial arts way as well, because he's a stunt actor. He does stunt acting. So it was good. Now, this movie, the main character in this is the character Rose that you're introduced to in the Beyond Skylines movie, because this one picks up where the other one left off. It does. The story literally follows all the way through, and you get to find out where you found out the past of this character Rose in Beyond Skylines. Now you get to move forward with Rose in this movie and see how she deals with the rest of these aliens that are left over. And Rose is played by Lindsay Morgan, and I have not seen Lindsay Morgan before, but she's kind of cute. I like the role that she played in this. I didn't think that she was faking the toughness so much, because it was played with some sensitivity and a little bit of depth. Okay, it's not like watching Brie Larson play tough as Captain Marvel. You don't buy her at all. There's no emotion there. Lindsay actually can give emotion. She gives some emotion, so you can see that for the character, these things are having an effect on her, and it's taking a toll on her. It's taking something out of her because she cares about the characters. Now, in this one, what you get is that with Beyond Skylines, you had a 10-year time jump. It ends at a 10-year time jump. Skylines picks up with a 5-year time jump. You jump ahead another 5 years. You find out what happened at the end of Beyond Skyline. They tell you what happened, and they jump you forward 5 years to the future, to where Rose, at this last battle with these aliens, where she set all these pilots free, she has now walked away from the military and been just disappeared, because she had to do some things that cost soldiers under her command a lot of lives, and she grieves the loss of those people. She regrets it, right? So she has been on the lam for 5 years, and now the military that is left is now looking for her, because there is a new plan. And there is something going on with all these alien pilots, as they call them, that they freed from this control of the aliens, which still have human brains inside of them. There's still somebody in there that remembers who they are, but they're stuck in this alien body. Something now is killing these things off and making them revert to their base programming, which is they'll go back and start killing human beings again. And the government has a plan to figure out how to stop that. Their plan is that because they have this alien technology and they beat this last foe, they were able to track the aliens back to where they came from, a planet called Cobalt 1. And they're going to go back to that planet and retrieve this Armada engine, which powered all of their stuff, and use that to fix all the pilot aliens on Earth, because they're all starting to go crazy again. And it's like 1 billion of them on the planet, so they will wipe out what's left of humanity. They can't have that happen. And the linchpin, the key to this, is finding the character Rose, because Rose is a hybrid. She's alien and human, and she can operate the alien technology. They need her to be able to use this engine to transform it so they can use it to free the rest of these pilots. That's the setup for your story, and now you're off and running with the story. Now, the general in this is played by Alex Sig, and General Radford is the guy masterminding this whole plan. If you don't know who Alexander Stig is, he was Dr. Bashir in the Star Trek universe, and I'm forgetting if he was on DS9 or he was on DS9, not Voyager, because Picardo was on Voyager. But Alex Stig, Dr. Bashir, is General Radford in this. And he's been in a lot of British movies, and I like seeing him every time he shows up. I don't know why they haven't tapped him at some point to play Reed Richards, unless everybody is really stuck on Reed Richards looking like a white dude. He would be perfect for Reed Richards for me. So anyway, he's masterminded this plan, and once he has Rose, he convinces her to go along with this, and you find out that because Rose is a hybrid in a sense, and she has aged so quickly, every time she uses her powers, it's aging her to the point of death. So she's almost on her last leg. Now, another thing that they have in this is that Rose still has her brother, in a sense, Trent, from the Beyond Skyline movie. Trent is still there, but their father is missing, which is Mark. Mark was played by Frank Grillo, right? He's still missing, and they're still looking for him, and he's been missing for about 5 years. But with these two siblings coming back together, they're off on this mission to go to this other planet, which goes pretty much how you would expect. When they get to the planet, you find out that something has gone wrong with these aliens. The ones that are left on this planet, there's something not right with them. They do not look like and not behave like the rest of them. And as the story envelops, you end up finding out some twists and turns about what's going on in this situation. But here's the thing that really stood out to me. On this planet, you end up seeing that there is one alien left. And this alien is a matriarch, which is funny in this movie because this movie is really a female vehicle. The male characters in it are just side pieces to help the female characters get to where they're going. But it's not done in a way where it's overly offensive like an American movie usually would be. Like, they're not pushing the feminism in your fucking face. It doesn't have a feminist vibe, but women are primary characters in this. So you watch it and you just pretty much accepted that this is the world they're living in. And it's funny because I never really questioned it. It gave me some grown moments at some points, but I never really questioned it too much because the men still handled their business, but they were there in service of the female actors. But you get down to this and see that there is a matriarch or queen, so to speak, in this planet, and they need Rose. They were waiting and laying in wait for Rose to come there because they wanted her to come there because they needed something from her. And I won't spoil all of that for you, but I will say there is a shade of a classic sci-fi movie in this movie. There's a shade, and there's a little juxtaposition of putting the female protagonist in the same situation of a classic character was, and having that interplay. And I thought it was kind of genius because when it got down to that scene, and I was like, oh, wait, I've seen this before, but this is kind of cool. I wasn't insulted. They were actually trying to pay it a little bit of the original scene to some credence. So that was it. Overall feel on it was good. That was a good 3-movie binge. It was action. It was entertaining. I wasn't bored the whole time while I was watching it, and I wasn't just waiting for it to be over. And I got a good through line where I got to follow one character from its inception until it moved on with the rest of the story. There were characters that transferred from one movie to the next one and carried through, which I liked, and plot lines and storylines that continued through the movies like they had been making them back to back the whole time. But it wasn't. So I can see why the fan response to this, it's better than the critical response to it because it does have a little different feel, but it's the same director, it's the same world, it's the same characters for the most part. And they're just continuing the story on. And that's what I love. I love being able to see a character develop and see storylines develop. And it's good to binge on stuff like this because it makes it more fun to watch. So for me, I really enjoyed Skylines. I could watch the three of these movies all again, and maybe I will, just not tonight because I said I would finish before 1 a.m. and it is before 1 a.m. when I'm finishing this up. So good watch for me. I really enjoyed it, and I think because I'm still in that, British television good through line story feel, I might go back and watch the Underworld franchise tomorrow on Memorial Day. But for now, I'm going to get some sleep. So this is Artisan MC, and I do recommend Skyline, Beyond Skyline, and Skylines as a binge. Good for a binge. So I'll see you guys next time. Peace.